Good evening. Welcome again to Varsity Sports Live here on Friday the 13th. Welcome in. Jason Andera sitting this one out on COVID quarantine. Come on, man. Biggest night of the year for the kid, and he gets knocked out. But we will talk to him a little bit later in the show. And all kidding aside, as we go along tonight, you'll hear the players and the coaches after these games just grateful that we have gotten to this point in the season, the championship games in North Dakota and South Dakota. Two more South Dakota games tonight. We'll get to those coming up in a couple of minutes. But all four of the North Dakota championships today at the Fargo Dome. Jody Norstead has been hustling all day there for all of them. There was an 8 a.m. kickoff for that first game this morning, right, Jody?
Yeah, and I was there, and I'm here tonight. So how you doing, Tom?
I'm doing fabulous. Good to see you, man.
And poor Jandy, it just isn't the same, man. Jandy watching at home, and we hope he and his family are doing well and safe, but I'm sure he enjoyed watching a little bit of football today as well. Yeah, he's doing well, and we're going to hook up with him a little bit here this evening as we go along. But I mean, start with these games early this morning, and then you get to the big Century win later on tonight, but a huge day of high school football in North Dakota today. Yeah, the first three games were great. We'll show you the Century one a little bit, still editing that one because it's hot off the press. But let's jump to that two-way championship matchup. It was a couple of rivals, Beulah and Bismarck St. Mary's going head-to-head. Kind of bittersweet because they're not going to be playing in the same division next year. But this was still a fantastic way to go out. The Saints won the regular season meeting, and their stingy defense delivers early here. Trey Brandt looking for room to run, but Matt Nathie flies in for the tackle. That forces a Beulah punt. Every yard was earned in this one from start to finish. Jackson Euler, the Saints QB, shedding a few tackles on this 19-yard run. That leads to this. Euler going to pump and fire. That ball is going to be on the money to Jackson Rorick, 31 yards for the score, and St. Mary's takes a 7-0 lead with 2:23 left in the first. In the second, Beulah facing a 4th and 1. Nate Batteste says, "You need one, coach, I'll give you 11. The senior standout follows his blockers down to the 1-yard line. 2 plays later, Batteste having a party in the end zone. His 15th touchdown of the year, and it's big because it ties the game at 7. That's the score going into half. Third quarter, Miners trying to switch it up and get something working offensively. Brandt chucks it downfield, but Cullen Curl there to swat it away. Saints showing their speed in the secondary. Now 5:30 to play in the third. Saints have a field goal attempt, but the snap, the holder wasn't even ready for it. Botched opportunity. Nick Schumacher just throws it away, and it's still 7-7. Now, a couple bumps and bruises for both teams in this one. Brent Semfner obliterates Trey Brandt for a big stop for the Saints defense. Then on the other end, Trapper Skalski says, "Colin Curl, I know you rushed for over 1,000 yards, but I'm going to beat you down." Still tied at 7 with 1:30 left. Saints facing a 4th and 8 at the Beulah 20. Euler, with perhaps the biggest play of the game, gets away from the pressure, picks up 10 and a first down. The drive stalls on the 2, but with 20 seconds left, the Saints send out the kicking unit, and this time it's clean. The go-ahead kick from Schumacher, and St. Mary's takes a 10-7 lead with 15 seconds left. What a moment. Now Beulah needs a miracle on the return. They try the Music City miracle play, but the pass from Brandt off the mark, and check it out. St. Mary's Isaac Mandel is Johnny on the spot. He keeps the balance, and he's into the end zone. The Saints go from tied to up 10 in the span of a few seconds. 17-7 is your final. St. Mary's wins its 5th title in the last 8 years. They run the table with a perfect 11-0 mark. The Saints outgained Beulah on the ground 262 to 113. Euler and Curl both top 90 yards rushing, and St. Mary's comes out on top.
When we played them early in the season, we kind of lost discipline following our keys and stuff, but we had to stay disciplined this game, and we did. And it turned out we held them to, 7 points?
Our defense is absolutely stellar, and we knew that coming into the game, and we knew Beulah had that tough offense and all that. And we thought our defense was really great enough to stop them, and we did. And I think that's what got us the win today, our defense.
We knew our offense wasn't having much success because they got a great defense, but we also knew that our defense was going to be able to stand tall and make stops when they needed to make stops, and they did just that.
But we knew we had to push through, so we wanted it, and we weren't going to stop until we had it. And that's what it came down to, just wanting it more. Field goal just kind of made me go numb. It was just, everything was like coming real, and we've been working so hard for this, and finally it came true.
My teammates were going to give me a chance and make up for the mistakes we made earlier in the game, and they gave me a chance, and that's it. Everyone dreams about just making any kind of play to end a game, especially a state championship game.
We talked about it this week. How do we want to be remembered? Second place is not where you wanted to end up. Who remembers second place? And so that was big for us coming into this week. We knew we wanted to be winners all from the beginning of the season, but also from the beginning of this week.
Pretty good stuff. The Class A championship, a rematch of last year's semifinal round where Langdon-HMB-Munich blew out Lisbon 50-0. Cardinals have blown a lot of teams out, though, today chasing their 37th straight win and a three-peat. Lisbon trying to do the unthinkable. Broncos open the scoring, forced into a 4th and goal from the 3. All-State rusher Jordan Sowers runs the run-at-the-camera guy play to perfection. 6-0 Broncos. Langdon hoping to answer. Broncos get good pressure on Rumfo and force a rare mistake. Simon Rumfo intercepted. Robert Adam, a defensive lineman, with a big man touchdown. How about that? The senior. What a play, and Lisbon leads it 12-0. The defending champs get on the board on the first play of the second, though. Simon Rumfo now on the keeper. No problem. His 18th rushing score of the season makes it 12-8 Lisbon. Next Cardinals possession. They dig deep into the playbook. The double pass here. Grant Rumfo is going to throw it up for Marcus Kingsit, but instead it's a no-look interception by Caden Sweet. How sweet it is. Lisbon head coach Joe Girding in the background almost jumping out of his shoes. Lisbon forced into a 4th and 11, though. And here's a breakdown in that defense. Schultz slings it to a wide-open Avery Dick for a 34-yard score. All of a sudden, Broncos up 20-8 with under 4 minutes left in the first half. Are you kidding me? Langdon puts together a critical drive just before the break, though. Grant Rumfo finishes it off, scoring from 2 yards out. The two-pointer's good. It's 20-16 Lisbon at the half. Third quarter, Cardinals start with the ball. Rumfo on the run, and he's going to throw a dart to Kingsit, his sophomore receiver, for a 40-yard connection. That set up Grant Rumfo's second rushing score of the day, but check out the two-point try here. On the far side, you're going to see an eligible lineman fall down. That's Mason Rumfo. He gets back up. Simon Rumfo throws it to his cousin for the extra 2 points. Langdon up for the first time, 24-20. After a stop on D, Rumfo wants to pass again, this time to Carter Tatro. 65 yards on the gain. Big play for another sophomore, and then Grant Rumfo finishes the job. Following the rugby scrum into the end zone for his third rushing touchdown of the game, it's 30-20 in favor of the defending champs. After another stop on defense, here is the backbreaker. Early in the 4th, Simon Rumfo, man, he's a cheat code. The juke on Sowers, and he's going, gone. 51 yards to the house, 1 yard for every touchdown he's scored this year coming into the Dakota Bowl, and not even kidding. Cardinals' defensive adjustments were outstanding in the second half. Here they confused Lisbon. Gage Goodman with the interception. That's a good play by a good man. It leads to this, and I'm not even going to say their names on this, guys, because you should know them by now. The most decorated twins in North Dakota high school football history connect for their final touchdown wearing the Cardinal red. You can't spell twins without win. Lisbon adds a late score at the end, but the mission is complete for a three-peat. Langdon-HMB-Munich makes history, becoming the first three-peat champ since Velva in 2005. 42-28 is the final. Lisbon comes up short. The Broncos have a record of 19-2 over the last 2 seasons. Those 2 losses coming to Langdon-HMB-Munich in the semis and now championship games. Meanwhile, Simon Rumfo accounts for 165 yards of offense and 3 scores. Grant with 4 touchdowns of his own as a decorated senior class goes out on top.
I kind of told everyone in the end zone this is what we worked for all summer and everything, and all the sacrifice we made, so we just wanted to come out and make it pay off. Not a lot of people say they can do it with their twin brother, but we had a lot of good times, memories playing football, and it's just awesome.
Like you said, they haven't played in that type of game where they've been down a couple touchdowns, but that drive before half was big.
We had them in 4th down situations. We just missed some tackles, so we knew we were in the right spots. We just had to make a few more plays and did that the second half.
Simon threw that interception in the first half, pretty uncharacteristic of him, but in the back of your mind you're thinking, we got the best player on our team today, and he's going to make plays or find ways to make plays for us.
We had some bad plays the first half, and we knew that, and we just knew we had to come out in the second half and just play physical and just get it going on offense, because we felt that they couldn't stop us on offense. So once we got that rolling, we felt we would be pretty good.
I don't know how many yards he had, and how many touchdowns he threw for today, but it's got to be a big number.
I feel like we had a great start to the game, and sometimes big players just make big plays, and that happened for them in the second half. I'm incredibly proud of all of our seniors and everything that they've done for this program.
It's a special group. I mean, you know, to have your quarterback never lose a high school football game, and you know, to have all them 6 seniors contribute the way they have and been through the program, and you know, it's they mean a lot to me, and you know, they mean a lot to our community, because not only are they good athletes, good football players, but they're good young men too.
What a run for the Cardinals. To the 9-man showdown, which pump-up do you like better? The Linton-HMB dog pile? You have to feel bad for the guys on the bottom. Or would you like the Cavalier skyrocket? This one a rematch of a double OT thriller from last year's semis. Cavalier coach Sandy Laxdal coaching in his final game. He'll retire following this, his 13th season. He'll like to see this. Early second quarter, Andre Letexture hungry for his 6th sack of the year. He takes down Lucas Schumacher. They force a 4th and long, but big-time players make big-time plays. Schumacher, the double move from Grant Bosch. It's a 35-yard touchdown for the sophomore, and the Lions roar to an 8-0 lead. Cavalier responds with a good drive, but it doesn't end well. Brandon Clem thrown to the end zone. Schumacher stepping in front of the receiver for the big interception. Not the first time I've seen him do that this season. Ensuing drive, Schumacher missed 3 games with a foot injury earlier this year. His foot looks fine on this play, spinning away from defenders, but this right here is scary. He takes a late hit, runs into a padded wall. He was able to get up, and very next play, well, you be the judge. I think he looked just fine. Watch number 10 take his time, and once he gets to the edge, that stride gets longer. Schumacher scores on the 30-yard run. He rushed for 77 yards on that possession alone. 16-0 Linton-HMB with a 1:17 left in the first half. Cavalier gets close to the red zone near the end of the half, so Clem takes a shot. Schumacher again. Lead stays at 16-0 at the break. Linton-HMB starts with the ball in the third, chews up over 6 minutes of clock, and then Trey Jacob following some great blockers to the edge. 15 yards, his 24th touchdown of the season, makes it 24-0 Lions. Game over, right? Not so fast. Here come the Cavalier Tornadoes. They nickel and dime their way down the field. Clem in for his 30th rushing touchdown of the year. Tornadoes get a stop on D, and then it's Clem again. The lead is cut to 8 just like that at 24-16. Lions in a little trouble all of a sudden, but not for long. Shortly after converting a 4th and 4, Schumacher fakes the handoff, fakes out the camera guy, which was me. A clear path to his end zone. Second rushing touchdown for him is 32-16 with 4 minutes left. Cavalier quickly answered and cut the lead back to 8, but they eventually run out of time and let the celebration begin. Linton-HMB wins its first state title since 2003. You see the emotion from Schumacher there. He ends up being named the 9-man player of the year, finishing the game with 100 yards passing, 120 yards rushing, a trio of touchdowns, and a pair of picks on defense. Brandon Clem, boy, what a performance. 300 yards of offense, 3 touchdowns himself. But it's the Lions hanging on to win what ended up being an extremely physical game.
One thing our coach, he loves grinders, he always says. He says that in a grinder, he said, I like our chances. So, I mean, it went through our hides, and then we just had to get back to it.
When it got close at the end there, he told us that we have to keep staying together, don't let us break apart. Because when we break apart, that's when stuff's going to start going wrong. But we kept it together, we kept it going, and at the end of the day, we ended up with the win.
It feels great. When Lucas got hurt early in the year, Coach told me that I'm going to get a lot of carries, and it was just kind of like a bring it on mentality, like I wanted to bring it for the team, and the whole line stepped up. And to finally come out here and just end this on a high note feels so good.
We know we had to come out and bring a lot of energy and just set the tone right away, and then it went our way.
Oh, he's huge, and we expect that out of him. There was no doubt in my mind he was going to come out today and just have a big game, because that's what he is. He's a big-time player. He makes big plays, and he's done that all year for us, and he did that last year for us too. And so, you know, we talked about it before the game, and I said, hey, I mean, this is what you've worked for your whole high school career. It's your time, you know, and he came out here and he proved it. It's so special to be able to come back here to my old high school, to this community, and bring the title back. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to our guys, and it means a lot to the community.
Congrats to those Lions. How about this one? A rematch of last year's 3A state championship. Cheyenne lost that one 10-0, but they haven't lost since, and neither has Andrew Langdon and those Century Patriots. Both 9-0 coming into the title bout. Middle of the first, Cade Garcia gets it, takes it across midfield for a big gain. This was the theme of the night, and we knew Century would want to tuck themselves behind that big offensive line and let them roll. Then 4 minutes left in the first. Peyton Arndt, the young running back, he might be the running back of the future for this program, gets into the end zone, makes it 7-0 Patriots. Sheyenne tries to respond, but on 4th down, they're stopped by Jacob Renz and company. Laying the lumber, Beulah had a tough time getting loose in this game, the Bison commit. Sheyenne comes up with their own stop on 3rd down, though. James Hagan with a big tackle on Arndt. But Wade James gives it a try from 34 yards, knocks it in to put Century up 10-0 early in the second. What a luxury it is to have a good kicker. Watch this kickoff now. It takes a few weird hops, and Pennu, well, he's going to have trouble getting it. And look who recovers. Seth Nelson sprinting downfield and gets it for Century. Big special teams play. Then Cade Garcia punches it in from 10 yards out to give Century a 17-0 lead with 9 left to play in the first half. Everything going wrong for Sheyenne. Here, though, Workentine trying to get things going. Grant Workentine, the junior quarterback, finds Alex Erlob for a nice gain. But shortly after, Workentine tries getting it to Pennu, but gets hit by Garcia. Watch this pop. That's running back on running back. Garcia said he was looking forward to that matchup. And Andrew Langdon actually picks it up, and it's ruled an interception. Later, Cole Menz gets in the Patriot backfield and takes down Schaffner. Boy, he's been good all season. Him and Abe Hestalin on the defensive line. But Garcia comes back and busts this one wide open up the middle. He is loose, and number 34 is going to run all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And then Garcia runs 4 yards to the outside for his second touchdown of the night. It is 24-0 Patriots, and that was their lead going into halftime. Just a completely dominant performance from Ron Wingenbach's team. And then in the fourth, Schaffner tries to burn some clock. Instead, he sees so much daylight in front of him, he takes it in 30 yards for the score. That makes it 31 Century. Schaffner on the ground, 59 yards and a touchdown. Garcia with 142 and 2. Pennu, as I mentioned, bottled up all night, held to just 38 yards on the ground. And Bismarck Century makes a big statement after a rocky start to the year. They come out flying the rest of the way, win their 22nd straight game, back-to-back champs, and a perfect season for the second straight year.
Hats off to Sheyenne. They're a really good team. They're coached really well, and they fought hard. And I think the number one thing was starting off hot right away. I think that's what set the tone right away and said that we weren't gonna back down.
I thought our first defensive series, our kids really flew to the football, and consequently we got the turnover on the kickoff, and maybe that was the one. I think we were up 7-0 at that time, just to get the momentum on a special teams play. That was huge.
We made it a big goal of ours this week. After we heard that they didn't think our defense could play with them, like that was our goal. We're like, we got to shut them down and prove to this state what our defense can do.
You know, they told me they got my back. I know they got my back. They didn't have to tell me, but I love those guys. They do everything for me. They make me look good. They're just dudes on the field. You know, it's been an honor. I'm pretty good friends with Jake Olson. I know Dalton Feeney pretty well. Obviously, I know Cade really well. So it's just an honor to be up with those names. They're absolute dudes. They won it for us. They're great guys.
Sad, honestly, just being this last game with all my senior friends, all the underclassmen. It's a sad moment, but at the same time, just going out on top. Obviously, it's going to come to an end, and I'm just so excited for the next chapter of my life, and I'm just forever a Patriot.
Conditioning coach Dalton Weiss gave me a fact here the other day that we weigh in at the beginning of the season and at the end of the season, and our 93 guys that kind of make up the nucleus of our team, they put on 533 pounds of muscle. And I tell you what, it all starts with that dedication, things right that make you a better football team.
You know, Tom, I got to get in touch with Dalton Wise and figure out what our weight was going into this season and what it is now after having all those snacks.
Our weight or our muscle weight? Our weight is up there. Our muscle weight might not be.
But absolutely impressive what Century's been able to do, the long win streak that they continue, the long win streak that Langdon-Edmore-Munich continues, both back-to-back state champs, and for Langdon-Edmore-Munich, obviously the three-peat. Some impressive runs for those teams. Linton-HMB I thought was a great story. I mean, they weren't even a region champ. They weren't a second seed in their region. They were a third seed in their region. They end up winning the state championship. That just shows you the strength of Region 4 in that 9-man class. And then 2A, St. Mary's does it again, 5th time in 8 years that they've been the champs. So some pretty fun and impressive performances today.
Yeah, a couple more questions before we let you go here. Great work today on all these games. Love hearing from these guys and seeing the faces, and I hear them talk about the season. But just talk about that Linton-HMB game a little bit. Lucas Schumacher, you saw 4 games today. You saw tons of great players. Was he maybe the best player you saw today?
I think he was, because of the impact, Tom, that he has on both sides of the ball. And this is a kid that was gutting it out. As you see my water in here, yeah, we get a little bit tired when we're working all day. But Lucas Schumacher, just a tall, athletic player from that quarterback spot. And I thought coming into that game, you know, Trey Jacob carries a lot of the load for that team. But if you want to talk about the best player, Lucas Schumacher, just the things that he can do with his arms, the things that he can do running the ball, and then you see him picking off a couple of passes and doing what he did on defense. He made a lot of great open field tackles as well. So I would say Lucas Schumacher, probably one of the top players. Andrew Langdon, you got to throw in there too. It's not too often a lineman gets called the 3A player of the year, but that was what Langdon got tonight. And of course, his future lies at Kansas State.
Yeah, and Century's offensive and defensive lines, we saw him play in a couple of the live games that you guys did up there this year. Their line up front was as good as we've maybe seen in 3A. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of guys that are about 270 to 300 on that offensive line. And we're not talking about college, you know, we're talking about Class 3A North Dakota high school football. And a lot of those guys are seniors. Lucas Schweigert, we heard from him, he's a junior, so he'll be back next year, probably be one of the best offensive and defensive lineman prospects in the state. But those guys are just a load. And that was one thing that Ron Wingenbach told us. When they were kind of sputtering, we use that term loosely because they still won their first 3 games, but they made a change in Game 4, Game 5, and they moved Langdon and Schweigert from tackles to guards. That made their offensive line a little bit more athletic. Those guys pulling out, getting in space, and Kate Garcia having success running behind them. Noah Schaffner started running the ball more, and you just saw them kind of impose their will on both sides of the ball because no one can run against the teeth of that defense, and no one can slow them down when your running back is tucking in behind that big offensive line, and they're easily able to get 3-4 yards a carry.
Yeah, Garcia was a beast as well. And the interception by Caden Sweet in the Lisbon game, well, that was probably the best play of the day right there. That was incredible.
Pretty sweet, man. And they always tell you to look back for the ball, play the ball as a defensive back. Heck, just throw your hands up and it'll come right to you, right?
That was impressive. All right. And the Romfo twins are done. There's more Romfos there, but Langdon-Edmore-Munich, what a run for them.
Yeah, those twin brothers have put up some ridiculous stats. And Simon, I mean, 3 straight years of passing for over 2,000 yards, 2 straight years of rushing for over 1,000 yards. And I joke that he probably has 300 career touchdowns, but honestly, he probably has, I'm guessing, around 160 total touchdowns in his career, between 140 and 160, which is absolutely insane. Some college team is going to be really lucky to get one of those 2 guys. I don't know if they're going to be a package deal, but a great NSIC team, possibly. Maybe they go somewhere else, and maybe they try to sneak onto a Division I roster and make an impact. But those are 2 of the best high school football players I've ever seen, and the run that they went on, and actually, trailing Lisbon, and give credit to Lisbon. They're up 20-8 in that game. In Langdon-Edmore-Munich, you're thinking, boy, is this dynasty going to end like this? And no, it didn't. Simon Romfo willed his team back to victory. So you can put him right up with Lucas Schumacher on best players in the Dakota Bowl today.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, outstanding work today, Jody. Thanks a lot, buddy. We'll see you.
You bet. Thanks, Tom.
All right, they are done in North Dakota. We're still rolling on in South Dakota. 2 more games tonight. 2 still coming up on Saturday, but big wins for Pierre, and winner tonight. We'll have the highlights when we come back.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Avera Orthopedics, South Dakota State University, and Farmers Union Insurance.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. Well, 5 games down, 2 still to go in the South Dakota High School Football Championships. And let's pick it up on the games on Friday night here in a great matchup in 11AA. It was Brookings taking on Pierre, a rematch of last year's championship game. Pierre, 3-time defending champions. They beat Harrisburg a couple of years ago, beat Huron, and then beat Brookings last year. But the Bobcats coming into this one 11-0 on the season. But Pierre on the board first. Lincoln Keenholz, their sophomore quarterback, sneaky. Took them a while to decide, but the Govs go up 7-0. Cats come back up. Keegan Fields, who's been a big part of that undefeated regular season, and into the playoffs here for the Cats down the sidelines. That sets up Josh Burai. Moved in for Minnesota this year to join this Cat club. He had 16 carries for 122 yards. And it's a 7-6 game. Brookings in the lead, so game on. But in the second quarter, the Govs get it going. Keenholz to Reagan Bolwig, who had a couple of catches. Pierre goes ahead 14-6. Jackson Bowes back to pass, and Keenholz steps in front of that, takes it back down the sideline, and politely steps out of bounds. That led to a Jack Merkwan touchdown catch. Cats turned it over again, and then Keenholz goes again to Bolwig coming across. Keenholz 10 of 19 passing, 150 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's 28-6 at halftime after Pierre scores 21 straight points in that second quarter. Second half, more of the same. Defense all over the place for the Governors. McGuire-Rasky with an interception there. Picks off Bowles and takes it back part of the way. The Govs got a field goal out of that from Karsten Miller. Rasky added on another late touchdown, and 38-6, 38 points on the board after the Bobcats had gotten their touchdown. But McGuire-Rasky on the ground, 228 carries, I should say, 164 yards in that touchdown. The young quarterback Keenholz, 3 passing touchdowns to go with a rushing touchdown. Preston Taylor was named the outstanding lineman. Rasky, the outstanding back. Keenholz, the MVP of this one for the Govs as they win their 4th straight state championship. And here is Steve Steele and Pierre after this one.
This was so fun, so fulfilling. You know, it's just so different. They're all very different. They're very different, but you know, I just think more than anything, I'm just so proud of this group for really coming together. I mean, a lot of people thought this was our year to go down, for it all to end, and for these guys to come together the way they did over the course of the season, continue building, and just trusting the process. You know, just understanding that, you know, we can lose a game in the season. Once we get to the playoffs, as long as we're playing our best football, we can do it again. And you know, I just think that they really enjoyed the moment. You know, I think that's what we tried to focus on more than anything else, was not to get so wound up and just to go out and have fun and to play for each other. And these kids played for each other. You know, it was so fun to watch them. You know, we made plenty of mistakes tonight, you know, just like every football game, but to see them stick together, lift each other up, and to power through it was just a really fun thing to see as a coach.
Couldn't ask for anything more. You know, I dream of this as a kid. We grow up in Pierre. We always want to come to the Dome. It's the best time of the year. Couldn't be any more proud of these guys. I mean, we worked our butts off all season. We lost a couple, but you know, we bounced back, and we knew we weren't gonna come down with a fight.
Yeah, they lost to Brookings during the regular season, lost to Yankton, but Pierre really got it rolling. And Jason Andera giving us some of his thoughts after these games today. And on this one, he says, Steve Steele's done a terrific job building that program at Pierre. The senior class won a title each year. They were in high school, 4 in a row for the Pierre seniors, and the first to win 4 in a row since West Central had those great teams and won 6 in a row back in that ended in 2005, I believe. But the Pierre Governors are the 11 AA champs with the win over Brookings, 38-6. All right, in 11B, this game on Friday afternoon at the Dome, Winter and Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan, both undefeated coming in. 4th straight year that Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan's been in the championship. They beat Winter last year, and they had a couple of turnovers early, but look at the big man there for Winter. Preston Nora gets in, made it 6-0. Every yard tough to come by. Caden Klum puts Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan back in the lead, but Riley Orrell on a run here for the Warriors. Was he down there at the end of the play? It didn't matter. Winter got on it anyway, and they said he was down, and then Orrell finishes off the drive here, takes it in. So it's 12-7, Winter in the lead at halftime. Third quarter, Winter moving again. Brady Fritz only threw it 5 times, completed 2 of them. Goes to Sam Kruger here, who is just a foot short of the goal line there. Fritz finishes it off. 18-7 Winter midway through the third, but the Seahawks hit him back quick. Bodie Burnham had a huge kickoff return. Kobe Kaiser takes it to the pylon there. They said he was just out, but then Burnham scores here to make it 18-14, still in the third quarter, and it stays that way. Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan driving in the red zone late in the game. This is the final play. Warriors knock it away, and Winter hangs on to win it 18-14. To avenge that loss last year in the championship game. Only loss of the season for the Seahawks coming in this one. Charlie Provosek the outstanding lineman in this one for Winter. Sam Kruger led the team in tackles. He was the outstanding back. You see the numbers for Riley Orrell there. He was the MVP. And let's hear from the Winter Warriors after their 11B championship.
It feels amazing. Coming into the season, we knew that we were both going to be probably the two best teams in our group. So we knew that it would be a tough battle because they lost a few good players, we lost a few good players. So we knew it would be a battle again like it was last year. And we're just super happy to get it done this year.
It felt great. We knew we had to come back here, and we knew we'd face them here, and we just had to get it done this time. We just knew that we had to execute, and we're confident in our defense, and we knew as long as we do what we do, it would end how it's supposed to.
It's super special because at the beginning of the season, we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. So we all felt very fortunate to have a full season and the season that we did and come out on top.
We're just resilient, and we knew as whoever was coaching, we knew that they would teach us what they needed to teach us, and we would do what we needed to do, and we'd get here and do what we had to do.
That just tells you how mentally tough they are. You know, I mean, right when everything was happening, you just said, goals don't change, expectations don't change, nothing's going to change, and it's because they didn't let it change, and that was the big thing.
All right, and a comment from Jason Andera, who says those turnovers early killed the Seahawks. Winners quarterback Brady Fritz is amazing what the Warriors went through coming off a loss to the championship last year, and a midseason coaching change shows their resilience. Shout out to Charlie Pravacek for leading the line, and again, he was the outstanding lineman, and congratulations to the Winter Warriors as they are the 11B champs. All right, 9-man games on Thursday at the Dome, and started with 9AA Platte-Geddes and Hamlin, both 11-0 coming into this game. Platte-Geddes on its first drive, they go 13 plays. Grayson Hansen to Jackson Newman to make it 6-0. Black Panthers in the lead. Kelby Vanderwerf, 5 of 9 passing, very efficient through the air, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jackson Olsen with a 31-yard gather there to make it 14-0. Hamlin comes back though. Xander Sheyenne dropping it over the top there to Cameron Thuey. He had 1 catch. This was it. Rambles in 50 yards to make it 14-6 early in the second quarter. Still second quarter here. Wildcat formation this time, and Grayson Hansen picking his way in from 1 yard. So the Black Panthers, just before the half, they go up 20-6. Platte-Geddes got a field goal to go up 23-6. And then this is the opening play of the fourth quarter. Hansen slides across the backfield into the flat there, goes 50 yards on the ramble. That was his only catch, but he scores on it. 29-6, Platte-Geddes in the lead, and then Hansen really wanted to throw it a couple of times, but instead pulls it down and goes 15 yards for another touchdown. Made it 36-6, and Platte-Geddes was on their way. The Panthers roll to a victory, in a big moment at the end. Senior Brady Sprick, who was paralyzed in a car crash 3 years ago, still part of the program, still part of the team. He hoists the trophy there. And the Black Panthers are the champions in 9AA, 42-14 final there. Caden Foxley was the outstanding lineman. Hansen, the outstanding back in this game. You see his numbers there doing it all. Hansen, the MVP as well. And let's hear from a couple of the victorious Platte-Geddes Black Panthers.
Yeah, after Bruce, we're taking the ball, we're going to go score, and we're going to go try and make a statement right away. And for us to get in the huddle and everybody's pumped and everybody's like, all right, let's go. First hit, first block, everything. Go down and get that right away was huge.
They had that 3 safeties, and they come in with our slants and stuff, and our wheel routes are wide open. It's good to do them. They had the same linemen in there. They just wear down. It makes everything easier. It means a lot. It's a good thing. If it wasn't for my teammates, though, I wouldn't have got it. Our line's been really good. They're good.
Yeah, they are. Hansen, the MVP there. Here's Jandy's comment. He says he should have known better than to pick against Platte-Geddes, but they set the tone early, never let their foot off the gas. Grayson Hansen played a great game, but it was a true team effort, as Hansen himself said there, as Platte-Geddes goes 12-0, and they are the 9AA champions. 9A final, Warner and Canistota-Freeman. Warner coming in at 10-0. Canistota-Freeman 10-1. Tice Ortman, maybe the player of the year in 9A. Chase Braun on the fumble there, though, for Warner. And the Monarchs fired up. Who doesn't love number 69? A lot of Tanner Evan fans in attendance. Next drive, though, Warner gives it back as they play turnovers early on. Fumble there. Cole Pappendick was the outstanding lineman in this game. for Canistota-Freeman. He is on it, but the football was a bit slippery. Jackson McNeil loses the handle, and the Pride get on it again. And finally, we get a touchdown here. Ortman up the middle from 7 yards out. Canistota-Freeman in the lead 6-0. And then watch this interception. Looks like a catch, kind of, sort of, got smacked up into the hands of Blake Anderson right between the 2 and the 6, and he hangs on. But this is when the back shoulder throw goes wrong. Ortman picked off there by Peyton Young for Warner. So it's 6-0 at halftime. Third quarter, though, Ortman gets loose, shifty, and then speedy, goes 64 yards, his longest run of the game. 27 carries, 253 yards on the ground for Tice Ortman, so it's 12-0 with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Warner trying to get in the end zone, 4th and goal at the 2-yard line, but look at the wall there. Riley Heiberger, Logan Katzer, the linebacker, they throw up the wall and keep the shutout. 12-0 is the final, and 3 in a row now for Canistota-Freeman as they get through at 11-1. Again, Poppendick was the outstanding lineman, Tice Ortman the outstanding back and the most valuable player in this game, and here they are after their victory in 9A.
That's crazy. I mean, we've always dreamed about that, like since watching the Hog days when they won that three-peat back in the day, and then so we got to watch that and now we get to experience it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's huge. I mean, yeah, I mean, three-peat. Yeah, nothing much to say. Yeah.
It was extremely difficult, you know, just a tremendous ball club in Warner. They did so many things defensively that we had to try and adapt to on the fly and make things happen. And so just a tremendous effort from them. It took 2 scores, you know, and that got it done. I was so happy with the way our defense was able to create those turnovers throughout the course of the game. Made a world of difference. Our offense wasn't flashy, but it was enough to get the job done tonight.
And Freeman won a bunch back in the 90s, back-to-back-to-back. Canistota won a few on their own as Canistota, and now as Canistota-Freeman. They go back-to-back-to-back, and here's Jason Andera's thoughts. Tice Ortman proved to be the best player in all of 9-man, not just 9A. The Pride were down to their top running back, so Ortman picked up the slack and did everything this year. And a shout-out to James Strang for winning 3 in a row for Canistota-Freeman as they are the 9A champions. And in 9B on Thursday at the Dome, Del Rapids St. Mary's taking on Wolsey-Wessington. Both these teams missed a couple of games due to the pandemic this year, but made their way to the Dome. First drive, Eric Klanchnik, 14 yards for the touchdown. Warbirds in the lead 5 minutes into the game. But Del Rapids St. Mary's first drive, they went 11 plays, but it ends in a turnover on downs. And then Klanchnik right back at it again, still in the first quarter here. Eric Klanchnik going the other way, touchdown from 10 yards out, so 12-0. Wolsey-Wessington in the lead. Go to the second quarter. Goal line for Corbin Harmeyer, who was outstanding for Wolsey-Wessington. That capped off a 10-play drive. 18-0 at halftime for Wolsey-Wessington. Third quarter, though, Connor Libas pulls up. He had 123 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, 130 yards on the ground for Libas. Goes to Nick Gasper there to make it 18-8. And in the next drive here, Cards stop him on downs. Sean Roach Valandra, big man with the tackle for loss there. So go to the fourth quarter. Wolsey-Wessington again. Harmeyer through the air, 14 out of 16, 173 yards. Goes to Carson Zomer for the touchdown. And Wolsey-Wessington starting to feel it with 8 minutes left in the ballgame. Cards keep fighting the Libas. Again in at quarterback. Goes to Sam Palmer, 45 yards for the touchdown. So it's 26-14 with about 7 minutes to play. But Wolsey-Wessington held the ball for nearly the rest of the football game. Marty Gone with a keeper there. And Wolsey-Wessington, the final 32-14. Warbirds get it done again. Marty Peterson hoisting it high there in the final 32-14 as the Warbirds, their only loss this season was to Platte-Geddes, the 9AA champions, so they finish at 10-1. Harmeyer was the outstanding back and the MVP for Wolsey-Wessington.
But I got to thank my teammates first off, because without them I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And but the good thing, I have to thank the coaches, my parents, and thank everyone. During the summer workouts, Coach said he probably doesn't see us having a season, and but it happened, and we had to deal with COVID throughout the season. Many teammates getting it, and we had to forfeit games, but we're here now.
But I just like our kids. I like the way we battle back. I like the way we handle adversity. I like our leadership. I just like the way we fought the entire game. We just wanted to play. You know, we talked about it before we even knew we were going to play in Zoom meetings. They simply just wanted to play football. And that's what I knew we had a talented group, because it didn't matter who we played. It didn't matter what position they played. They simply wanted to play. And then once we got through the 3 games and then the 6 games and we realized we might get through the season, we just wanted to keep playing. And our number one goal was to just keep playing. They just simply wanted to keep playing. And today we got to the championship and played our last game.
Yeah, congrats again, Gordon Hooks, doing the job there in Woolsey-Wessington. Here's Jason Andera after this one. Connor Libas is tough. He had significant swelling in his knee, but he never quit. Woolsey-Wessington earned it, though. Great teamwork and a great coaching staff. Shout out to Jake Williams for leading the Warbird defense and the offensive line for winning a tough battle up front as Woolsey-Wessington, the 9B champs, finish off a 10-1 championship season. All right, when we come back, still 2 more games to go in South Dakota. Coming up on Saturday in 11A, it'll be T in Canton, Brandon Valley and Harrisburg in the Big School Championship, and Jason Andera's got a preview next.
Varsity Sports Live on Midco Sports Network is presented by Farmers Union Insurance, Avera Orthopedics, and South Dakota State University.
Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. Still 2 more games to go in the South Dakota High School Football Championships. Coming up on Saturday in 11A, it'll be T area taking on Canton in the afternoon. And then Saturday night in 11 AAA, Brandon Valley taking on Harrisburg. And here is Jason Andera with a preview of both of those matchups.
The Saturday slate is looking prime. Once again, the first game starts at 2 p.m. where Canton takes on T area. These 2 teams know each other well.
Yeah, we just have to try to control their playmakers and not give them any big plays. That first game of the season there, we gave them 4 big plays was their 4 touchdowns. And the rest of the time I thought we played pretty well defensively. And we threw the ball well against them the first time, but did not run the ball well. We need to hopefully I got to find some plays that'll work against them or something.
Canton has 2 all-time greats on their defensive side. Sophomore Avery Herding is the school record holder for tackles for loss and sacks, while their linebacker, Zach Richardson, is the school's all-time leader in tackles. T area is a senior-led team that has gone wire to wire at number 1.
You know, it's our senior leadership. A lot of these guys played, last year a lot, started for us, and then a couple played the year before, so 3-year starters. And, just putting in the time and knowing what we expect. We call it the Titan way. And there's a lot of things that they do, little things that people don't see. But I see and talk to them about it before the game. You do the little things right, big things are going to happen. And, we're just excited to be right where we're at and hopefully continue next week with another win. So see what happens.
It's really fulfilling and know that all this hard work is finally paying off. And for my team and just everybody on this team, just a lot of hard work. We just do what we do, and I think we'll have it.
The T area Titans give up a paltry 1.9 yards per carry. That defense is going to have to come up big against a stable of running backs from Canton. T area has a better shot because of their offense. Both teams have a great D, but T can make 1 or 2 more big plays because of their speedsters, Caden Johnson and Austin Lake. Give me T area to cap off an undefeated season in a close game. The final game of the championship weekend will be the 11 AAA crown. Harrisburg takes on Brandon Valley. The Tigers love to throw the football, and Jacob Knuth can spread it around the field. The Tigers have 7 receivers with double-digit receptions this year. It doesn't matter who you take away, he's going to find somebody open downfield.
It's special. We just got to go there and handle business. Don't let the moment get too big for us.
just do our thing.
There's a lot of check boxes. When we set up this season, our seniors wanted to hashtag big things and said there's going to be boxes we have to check along the way, and we've checked 3 of them now this year. So why not check one more?
The Brandon Valley Lynx make their hay running the football. The Lynx average 8.1 yards per carry this year. One of the big questions entering the season for the Lynx was could their offensive line repeat what they did last year? Well, all the new starters came in and did their job and have sprung Joe Colbeck and Tate Johnson for big years.
We have a quarterback and a tailback that are just really good and stuff, and then defensively we have Parker Reed and he's done a great job of leading too. So there's just a lot of things and things like that.
It's just last week of my high school football career. Just going to enjoy it, and we're going to go out with a bang.
I think these two will trade blows early, but Brandon Valley is going to outlast Harrisburg with their power run game. Tate Johnson will help pull away for a late win, and Brandon Valley walks off champions once again.
All right, sounded a little subdued there, didn't he? But Jandy, we promise you he is fine. We're going to get him on the phone here when we come back, get him riled up a little bit, and talk about tonight's games that happened in South Dakota, the Brookings Pierre contest that was a surprise to a lot of people, and a little bit more on tomorrow's matchups in South Dakota. Welcome back to Varsity Sports Live. Let's go to the phone. And Jason Andera is standing by. Jandy?
Hey, everybody. Glad to be on the show. I haven't missed the show yet, so thanks for making me part of it, guys.
I was giving you a hard time for that package you did, and your voice was a little subdued, but you said there was good reason for that. Why?
Well, yeah, the rest of my family was sleeping in, so I was trying to be quiet when I cut that yesterday morning, so I was just being nice. Yeah, everybody's okay at the household. We had a couple of positive cases. I have a steel immune system, so I have nothing to worry about.
It's all those cold showers you learned about, right? All right.
That's right.
Little comment on this Brookings Pierre game tonight. Brookings comes in undefeated. Pierre, 3-time defending champions. Were you surprised that it ended up a 38-6 game with Pierre winning this one?
Yeah, I was telling everybody, coin flip game. I mean, this could go either way. I did say coming into the game that I think Lincoln Kienholz would be the difference in the game, and he kind of ended up being that difference in the game, didn't he? He was able to throw the ball and make the big plays where Brookings was not able to throw the ball. I mean, we knew what we were going to get with Burai and McGuire-Askey, but Kienholz stepped up big time.
And you said he's maybe the most improved player from early in the season, Kienholz?
Without a doubt. Coming into the year, he had big shoes to fill with Garrett Stout. He wasn't sure of himself. He was throwing interceptions, I think 12 interceptions maybe the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. He's gotten so much better, running as a quarterback and passing and just being a true leader for this team.
Yeah, we got some pictures rolling here of this game, but again, Brookings all year had been able to get Burai going, and he got going a little bit tonight, but they just kind of got out of their offense, didn't they?
Well, no. I mean, this is the thing that they do with Josh Burai. They give him the ball, 12 times a game on the average, 12, 13 times. They kind of did the same thing. They were down, so they weren't able to make up that yardage in the passing game. That was the difference. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Burai needed the ball 30 times because he's so hard to stop. But they didn't go away from what they had been doing all season long.
All right, quick comment. We got about 45 seconds here. One of the best games so far has been Winter, and Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan is Winter, wins that game 18-14. Quick thought on the 11B championship.
Yeah, it's not an exciting game. I mean, we're watching 11B football. It's not thrilling, but it's two really good teams. And honestly, the difference in the game, it comes down to a couple of turnovers early. I thought Bridgewater-Emery-Ethan played just as well, except for those turnovers.
And teams that can tackle. We've talked about this all year of all these great offensive players, but teams that can tackle, like these two teams right here, can win, right?
For sure. There's a lot of teams that can't tackle, and it shows up. And we saw some good tackling teams here, I thought, at the Dome.
All right, Jandy, stay safe. Look forward to seeing you soon, buddy. Thanks. And
one more week next week.
Yep, Jason Andera and Jody Norstedt working on their Players of the Year special. That'll be here next Friday night on Varsity Sports Live. Thanks for watching.